Dirty Sports, episode 829, live on YouTube in 5, 4, 3. Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast. I am your host, Andy Ruther, coming to you live from Cincinnati, Ohio, with my co-host from New York, Joey No Chill Prano.
Hello, Andy.
Good morning. I feel like you've been in New York for so long, man.
I know. Today is my final day. I fly back to Los Angeles tonight, this evening. I feel like I've been in New York for a long time too. And I know we've talked about this when you used to live in LA and visit home, that when I first got here, I'm like, excited. There was definitely a middle ground here over the course of like last weekend where I was bouncing around New York City doing shows, late night pizza spots, bars, like whatever. And I was like, am I moving back to New York? Like, this is great. I was at the Comedy Cellar on Monday watching the band, and then I bounced over to the Stand and did a show, and people came out, and it was great. And then now 4 days later, I'm like, I'm ready to go back to LA, ready to go back to get in the ocean, have a surf, go get a taco, Sure. I've had a lot of Italian food since I've been here and a lot of delicious sandwiches. And don't get me wrong, when I'm in LA, I miss those things greatly. But now, Andy Ruther style, I could use a burrito.
Oh, yeah. Man, that's the one thing, the food and the weather and the water. Food, weather, and water. Those are the things that make California, especially Southern California, so great. That's what I miss. The burritos, man. God, what I would give for a great local Mexican spot or a food truck burrito, or remember the place on Lincoln?
Which place on Lincoln?
Like the little food trucks.
Oh, yeah.
More like a food stand they would set up.
Yeah. Oh, that one that was right across from Ralph's Dollar Taco spot. Oh, man. Place was fire.
Might not. Yeah, it would be fire for your butthole too.
Sure.
But well worth it, right?
I have a great ability to sever from my memory when I have diarrhea, what caused it. I'm just like, sometimes it happens. And I'm just like, yeah, but last night you had tacos made on the street. It's like, could be that, who knows? My brain's like, don't think about it. Those tacos are delicious. The only thing ever that stuck around was I'll never eat El Pollo Loco again because it almost killed me.
I think I've only eaten there twice in my entire life.
I think I've only eaten there twice or three times because honestly, the look of it and the name of it and the placement of it in Venice always kind of grossed me out. But then Lachlan and Jill used to eat there all the time. And they were the ones that fed it to me the time it almost killed me.
Yeah, that's an interesting place that they would have that as their go-to.
Yeah.
If someone said to me, I was discussing this with somebody, if there was one food you could eat nonstop, I would almost probably say Mexican food.
Yeah. I mean, I knew you would say that.
I'm like huge Mexican food guy.
Yeah.
Italian's up there.
Italian's up there, but you need for me, I've basically been eating Italian nonstop here. Like my mom just wants to go out for Italian all the time. And the good thing here is you can go to the Italian restaurant we've been to a couple times. It's in my mom's neighborhood here. You could go and you could get pasta, but you could also get a veal chop, but you could also get, seafood. You could also get, so it's very diverse, but so many Italian places, you're basically just going all right. So I just eat pasta every day. I don't know if I could eat pasta. I could. I just had carbonara. I just had carbonara for breakfast. So what am I talking about? I had carbonara and an espresso for breakfast. My dad is smiling somewhere. I had pasta and a small cup of coffee.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
The thing is, if you eat that much Italian, you got to do some cardio.
Yeah.
I feel, because it's just so carb heavy.
Which is why I need to go back to Los Angeles, because I've done no cardio since I've been here.
Well, speaking of Italians, I think it's a great segue to discuss Ja Morant. Ja's an Italian name, right?
Yes. Absolutely.
Ja. Ja's not. It's not short for anything, is it? It's got to be.
I don't know.
Is his real name Ja Morant?
I feel like it probably is.
It's not.
It's not.
It's Demetrius Jamel Morant.
All right. I mean, so, Ja Morant is the best fucking name ever. God, I mean, talk about all-time W's. Tug and I's Ja should be number one overall. I remember even tweeting, I hope the Knicks don't get the first pick, because the first pick is like, whoever gets the first pick is going to have to take Zion. So I was begging for the Knicks to get the second pick. Of course, the Knicks get the 3 pick, because I am not allowed to have nice things.
Hell of a game. That 47 points was pretty unbelievable.
Yeah. Incredible, dude. He is the next NBA superstar. Well, and
why don't I just jump into a call if I can real quick?
Okay, let's do it.
Because we do have a call specifically about that. And I assume you're going to jump into what he wants to call about, but might as well give him a call real quick.
Hey, Joe and Andy. It's Andrew from Columbus. I just wanted to talk about Ja Morant. How do you guys view him in terms of best players in the league? Like, is he a top 5, top 10, top 3? I just saw his, I think he scored like 47 last night to beat the Warriors. And then follow-up, do you think he's better than Steph at this point? I kind of think he is, but Steph is also a very good shooter, so it's going to be difficult to kind of get the grasp of the public to see that he's better, even though like he doesn't have the elite shooting. He's more of a driver of the basketball. Just kind of wondering what your thoughts are on that. Also, Formula One race is 3:30 on Sunday, so if you guys want to tune in instead of reasonable time.
All right, so it's a good call. Like, where are we rating Ja now? Where do we want to compare him to Steph Curry?
Well, I would say, without thinking about it too hard, I'm going to go Ja top 10. I'm not going to go top 5 immediately, but he's close. I can make an argument he is, but I'm not going to go there just yet. So let's say without like breaking it down too closely, let's call him a top 10 NBA player, but probably like top 7 NBA player. And here's the thing about the sort of the Ja Steph, comparison. And also this goes for sort of Steph, the Steph comparison throughout his career to other people, whoever the best player at any given time may be. Steph is amazing. Steph is the best shooter in NBA history. Steph is an all-time great, but Steph on the Warriors, it's just like it works. And now they built a team around him, and that works. But like Steph's ability to take over a game in terms of if Ja had the last 15 points of the game, but he had to do it all on his own. He's bringing the ball up, taking it to the basket, getting buckets. Like Steph just doesn't do that and shouldn't do that. That's not the most effective way for Steph Curry to play the game. So like, yeah, I mean, to me, I don't even really think there's a question that Ja is better than Steph, that Ja is, I would say, more valuable to the Grizzlies than Steph is to the Golden State Warriors. I would say that Ja, you trade Steph and Ja, like the Warriors probably get worse, but the Grizzlies get way worse. I do think he's a better player. And I think it just goes for like being a more sort of dynamic player. But also at the same time, it's like Steph's ceiling is so high, but it's within like good game flow. It's within a team that's been built around Steph. Like, there's a lot of players, and I talk about this across sports. Like, what's Russell Wilson if he got drafted by the Jags? Like, that's kind of like why I'm always like, maybe like a little overrated. That's my personal opinion. But like, what is Steph if you drop him on, a shitty team right now? Whereas Ja Morant, you drop him on a shitty team as a rookie, 3 years into the league, they're the 2 seed. He's scoring 50 points in a fucking playoff game.
Obviously, two different type of players, like you alluded to.
Yeah, of course. That's what I'm saying.
But
neither of them true old school point guards.
Sure. But for me, here's what's interesting from just a watching perspective. Steph, obviously, the 3 guy, he can shoot it from anywhere on the court. Nothing is out of his reach. That's what makes him so fun to watch. Ja is a different type of fun to watch, right? He's breaking ankles. He's doing the moves. He's driving. I have really enjoyed that because I would argue, and I'll see if you agree with me, his type of basketball, you don't see as much anymore because we're so 3-point heavy in today's game, whether it's college or the NBA. Ja's type of play, a la Allen Iverson-esque, we would say, you don't see. That's why it's, for me, I can watch Steph shoot the lights out, which is fun. For me right now, this is more fun to watch. Just my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, and somebody said, I said the other day, Ja is the next NBA super duper star. And my buddy is just like, but why not Jokic, who's like might win this second thing? I was like, well, first of all, Jokic is already deep in his career, but also we're talking about gameplay. We're talking about style.
Yes.
My buddy was kind of like, he was playing devil's advocate, but he was like, is it a race thing? And I was like, no. If a white dude was doing what Ja is doing, it would be just exciting. But like to go to the bucket against bigs and hammer dunk on them, or to hit like crazy layups, or the way, he even facilitates from driving the ball to the basket. It's like, it's more exciting whether you think it's more effective or not than, a 3-point shooting pass first big man. Like, it's just who's like lumbering up and down the court. Well, I'm not saying that that's why I'm not saying Ja is a better player than Jokic at this point, and that would be why maybe I don't have him in the top 5 at the moment. But in terms of what makes superstars, like, in whether it be social media or highlights or shoe contracts or whatever, like Ja is the next NBA super duper star.
And from a marketing perspective, I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
If you watch his swag and just the confidence he has, I don't know if you had a chance to see his interview after game 2 with the TNT crew, and you just see it in his body language and how he talks. I would not call him cocky, maybe, but just, and I'm sure he's got a bit of cockiness to him, which, by the way, doesn't bother me. You should, if you're an athlete, and especially of his caliber. But I just think
you also, if you're a guy like Ja, and we've seen this throughout, like, you referenced Allen Iverson before. When you're undersized, you need a mental attitude that's like, I'm going to fucking dunk on you. Sure. If you don't believe that, then you can't achieve that. Not to go full fucking, motivational speaker on you.
No, but it's true. Well, this is a great segue because we're discussing Ja, we're discussing Steph. Also, we had a call about Steph Curry. And this call is coming at you saying, maybe you don't put enough respect on Steph. So let's hear from a Warriors fan. And this references what was said last episode.
What's up, Jimmy Sports? This is Alex from San Francisco Bay Area. I called in for a while, just calling in because I'm listening to the most recent episode where we're talking about the Warriors. And
real quick, Alex, heads up, dude. If you're gonna call in, speak into the phone. That's a Andy Ruth, a professional tip. Anyway, let's continue.
The statement that Steph Curry is a product of the system is kind of a ridiculous claim because he is the system. When Steph Curry is not in there, there's no backup player that just comes in and the Warriors are the same team. When Steph Curry is out, the Warriors look like a much worse team. And I mean, as a Warriors fan, I mean, he is the system. He is the Warriors, and to kind of use that, if he's a system player again as a point against him being one of the best players in the league, is preposterous. Tim Duncan is one of the greatest players of all time, and Joe, you rightfully rank him ahead of Kobe, but people called him a system player too. So that's it. That's the call. Put some respect on Steph Curry's name.
So I think that's a reference. You might have said a system comment last episode.
Well, first of all, I just said prior to this, Steph Curry is the system.
Sure.
The system is built around Steph Curry. I disagree with that at all. The system is entirely built around Steph Curry. And we can go back. I have no problem on a like in-depth level. I don't think we have in time for the time for it on this show necessarily, but you go back to my beloved Mike D'Antoni and Alvin Gentry as an assistant on the first Warriors team, saying this one's for Mike D'Antoni. He's been proven right. There is a system of the new NBA. And don't forget, Steph Curry was one pick away. And I listened to Mike D'Antoni recently did JJ Redick's podcast, and it was awesome. I sent it to you, where he talked about what would have happened if he had made it one more pick and gone to a Mike D'Antoni Knicks team. But there is absolutely, there was a basketball. Mike D'Antoni was trying to head basketball in one specific direction. Steph Curry was the perfect fit for that. You combine those two in a Warrior system that is absolutely, let's take that idea and build it around the perfect player for that idea. And that is why you're absolutely right. Steph Curry is the system. But that being said, Steph Curry can't just be dropped on the Charlotte fucking Hornets and do this. He can't just be dropped on the Houston Rockets this year and be the shooter. You need the Draymond. You need Draymond brings the ball up for the Warriors more than Steph does. So Steph's the point guard. This is a system built around moving the ball and getting open jump shots. And it's also built around the fact that there's two guys like that. Yes, Clay is not on Steph's level, but a lot of people, the way a lot of people think of Pippen is he would get a lot more credit if he wasn't with Steph. Klay Thompson on another team has MVP potential. Maybe not now post, injuries and the current shape he's in, but in his prime, Klay Thompson, scoring fucking 60 points and a half and shit like that. He has that potential. So yeah, it is a Steph Curry system, but at the same time is I just don't believe, unfortunately, as much as I like Steph Curry, that he could have gone anywhere and achieved what he has achieved in the NBA. And also, let's, when we talk about, we're talking about Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan, how many MVPs did Tim Duncan win? How many finals MVPs did Tim Duncan win? How many fucking finals were they in with Tim Duncan? How many playoff series did they win with Tim Duncan? Tim Duncan, yeah, I hope this caller, you want to say it's totally acceptable for me to put Tim Duncan over Kobe. Of course it is. Don't come with Steph Curry is in Tim Duncan's class. Steph Curry's not in Tim Duncan's class. That's insanity. Tim Duncan is one of the fucking 8 best players of all time.
So just to answer that question, because you asked it as you were saying that rant, they both have 2 MVPs. Regular season, Steph back-to-back. Obviously, Steph 1 year unanimously. Steph has 0 finals MVPs. Duncan has 3 finals MVPs. I agree with you. I would not put Steph in Tim Duncan's class. Obviously, Steph's a top 20 all-time player. I'd say Tim Duncan's next level.
The Spurs won the second Tim Duncan arrived, essentially. You had a process around building a team around Steph's very unique and very elite abilities. But can we look at Jordan Poole's season? And can we look at Jordan Poole's season while Steph was out? And can we not say things like it's impossible to have somebody come in and do what Steph Curry did? Didn't he?
Well, look, you can make an argument. It's not really an argument. It's a fact. They have sucked without Steph. So since 2018, May 5th, 2018 to May 5th today, right? 4-year span. The Warriors are 29-71 without Steph.
Sure.
So that's awful. They're winning at a 29% clip when Steph is not in the lineup.
Okay, but also like let's take into consideration
Clay.
Clay being out the last season, like them essentially tanking for an entire season.
Yeah.
I love Steph Curry. I'm not a Steph Curry hater. I think Steph Curry is an all-time great basketball player, the greatest shooter of all time. I love Steph Curry. I love Steph Curry's game. I love Steph Curry being the reason the NBA has modernized to the point it did. And he was absolutely a big part of that. But like, you know, people want to shit on LeBron for like disappearing in a fucking finals game 12 years ago. Steph Curry has how many finals games total does Steph Curry have where he's disappeared, where he shot poorly? And that's the bottom line is if Steph isn't shooting well, that's that.
You're right. I agree. And I also agree with your take that you can't just drop Steph off. And this on any team. This doesn't negate his ability or where he stands in the history of the NBA. I agree with you. He's great. He's the best shooter. Unequivocally the best shooter. But you're right. If you drop Steph on the Rockets or a garbage team, pick any of them. Do they instantly evolve at as quick a rate of maybe doing that with another player? I would tend to agree with you. And that's why the Ja Morant comparison really is interesting, in my opinion. I'm glad everyone's making these calls or wants us to have these discussions because they obviously fit a nice team around Ja, but man, 3 years. He's not getting huge names around him. They made a great team around him, but he is the centerpiece, of course.
The Warriors last year, the 2020 Warriors, the 2020. Well, let me see. Hold on. That was
COVID season or non-COVID season? It's 2020 COVID season.
So 2021. I mean, I'm trying to look at the career stats here, but 2019 Steph plays 5 games. Right? 2020 season. That is. I'm just trying to look at
2020, 2021 season.
Yeah, I'm looking. I don't know why Google's doing this to me, but here, I'm going to pull it up on this one. So the 2020, 2021 season.
Last season.
Steph plays 63 games. This year, he played 64 games, right? So he played 63 games last year. They finished 39-33 and 8th in the Western Conference. So what was the issue? Why weren't they
a top 5 seed?
Why weren't they a top 2 seed? Ja Morant's team is a top 2 seed. Why weren't they a championship contender? They have Steph. They have one of the greatest basketball players in the league, right? Now, granted, everybody needs help. Absolutely. Sure. Absolutely. But an 8 seed?
Yeah. It's a fair point.
So if Steph's the system and they had Steph, what's the problem?
Yeah. I agree.
And I already know that because I'm a LeBron stan, that there's going to be people out there. Let's not compare. Let's not try to use 37 and 38 and 39-year-old LeBron as your benchmark. Give me prime LeBron on whoever his roster was. Was LeBron an 8 seed when he was playing with fucking way less talented teams than that?
Everyone needs help. We're seeing that with Luka right now.
Yeah.
They're down 0-2.
Luka
had great games.
Luka doesn't just need help. Luka screams for help on every defensive possession because Luka is going full Nash at this point. There's only so much you can do, facilitating the whole offense, being the lead scorer, whatever. But like Luka's been a sieve defensively, and I got to say, I didn't see this coming from like, it's not that I underrated the Suns, nor is it that I overrated the Mavericks, but like, man, this matchup. I did not see this coming. I'll take an L.
Well, the biggest difference that I've seen, not only watching, but statistically, is Jalen Brunson had a great series against the Jazz.
Right.
And now he's MIA.
Right. Well, that's, that is, I think, sort of a coaching failure in terms of obviously a guy who is going to take over your facilitating the offense duties is going to thrive when Luka's out statistically, but a good coach would have taken that leap he made without Luka and been like, oh, well, now when we get Luka back, we can be that much stronger. And unfortunately, Luka obviously so ball dominant. And that would probably be the criticism of Luka's game is like, I know I'm a Porzingis defender a little bit, and now turning into a Jalen Brunson fan, but like, you got to be able to make those guys they're the best version of themselves. And you don't want Jalen Brunson doing what he did last series, but you want him to do 80% of that while Luka facilitates.
Sure. Both guys need the ball. So that's always the problem you have when two guys need the ball. But I'm willing to say this series is over.
It's
the Ruther curse is out there, but 2-0. I just feel
in the fashion that they lost. I mean, that was a back and forth kind of close-ish game for them to pull away in the fourth. And it's like, that's like a swimming race or a running race.
Correct.
Where it's close for a while. And then it's like, but you don't have the last gear that I have. That's a bad sign in terms of making it a series. If one team has the ability to close and the other team just absolutely doesn't, at least 100%. Right now. And again, I think the thing that makes me agree with you, it's pretty much over, is that again, the coaching fail in the Brunson Luka situation makes me think probably not going to make a great adjustment to how to hang on in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Which, we're at that point now. Like, there's not a lot of great NBA coaches.
Yeah. Well, obviously, Jason Kidd is one of those coaches where I think we're not still sure how good a coach he is.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
It was a questionable hire, but
questionable, but hard to argue with it considering all the things.
Yeah, when I say questionable, I don't mean I hate it. It's just It was an interesting. That's interesting. They're hiring Jason Kidd.
Yeah.
The Sixers don't stand a chance without Joel Embiid. They just
clearly not.
That series is.
I mean, Oladipo also just like
playing great ball,
returning to form. That's a 1-2 punch that's going to be pretty impossible to overcome, especially for a Doc Rivers coached basketball team.
Yeah.
I mean, no Joel Embiid, Harden dribble, which, I'm like, there are so many Harden haters and it's hard to find like Harden slurpers anymore, although I'm sure there are them out there since Carmelo's slurpers still exist. But I'm a little bit of a Harden defender in terms of like, yeah, it's not great 7 dribbles and a terrible forced shot, but also at this point, what are your options?
Well, they just can't compete. They don't have the guys without him.
Right.
I agree. They don't have the guys. And for as great as Embiid is, did you get injured too much, man? This is your whole career. I hate to say it, but it's true. Right? Like, that's the knock.
It's hard being gigantic.
No, and it's nothing personal against him, but you can't get hurt. You got to be there when it matters most.
Yeah, of course.
You can't miss playoff games, man, especially in the second round. And the Celtics come back in the other series. We're going to have a good series. We all knew that, I think.
Yeah, we knew that. But also, I still like the Bucks. I mean, the Bucks have already stolen her home court back. They stole it game one. I like the Bucks in that series, but absolutely it will be a good series.
I found myself going down at Udonis Haslem rabbit hole watching the Heat game last night.
Because he has like the it's like he's a rock star and they gave him the what do they call it? Like the honorary degree.
It's
like
fascinating.
It's like when Billy Joel just gets to have a Harvard degree. And it's like, what? He didn't even graduate from fucking high school.
Yeah, I don't understand exactly when these colleges do that. It is the same thing. He'll be 42 in June.
Yeah.
And what's crazy when you go down the Udonis Haslem rabbit hole, he was on the squad and legit player, a starter on the squad that won the 2006 title.
Oh, yeah.
With Shaq and Dwayne Wade.
Yeah. He's been there the whole run, dude.
The whole run.
Yeah.
Haslem's been there the whole time. He was on those squads, obviously LeBron, Wade, Bosch squads.
It's like how if you win the Masters, you get an invite back no matter what. So like Arnold Palmer's playing in it at 81. And they're like, well, you're probably not going to make the cut.
Let's see if you can guess. How many games did Haslem play this year?
8.
13.
Pretty good guess.
Pretty good guess. I'm just looking at his stats. These are Udonis Haslem. This is pretty fascinating. Let's go back to 2015 up until now. We'll start at 2015. These are his points per game average starting in 2015 and each season. 1.6, 1.9, 0.6, 2.5, 3.0, 4.0, 2.5. That's 8 seasons worth. Do they keep him around just because he's a veteran and they want that presence?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, what else would it be?
That's what I'm saying. You know, he's not making that much. He's making a couple mil a year. I just feel like you don't really see that anymore. But the Heat have done this now with multiple players. Juwan Howard was there for 40 years as well.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
Do you think that's a Pat Riley move? And he's smart, like an orchestrated move saying, hey, I need a respectful guy, guy in his 40s.
It almost is probably like, that's just Pat Riley being smart and being like, how do I have another assistant coach without, I'm sure there's a rule about how many assistant coaches you can have. So he essentially has another assistant coach and smartly, like no NBA team has a rotation that goes to the 15th man or whatever. So it's like,
yeah,
why would you like, honestly, I'm always surprised that more teams don't do this, but like, I'm surprised more teams don't do this in various ways, not just like crafty veterans. Like, why isn't the 15th man on your roster just like, like a motivational speaker? Like I've always believed like I should have an NBA contract. I'll keep, put me on the roster. Give me the absolute NBA minimum. No one's getting a DUI when fucking Fix Your Life is on the team. No one's gonna be sad in the fucking locker room.
I'm picturing you in a jersey, by the way. It's just
no one's gonna.
In the layup line. There's a lot of mental images. You going through the layup line.
Well, Andy, this is a script that I wrote one time. It's called Locker Room Guy, and it's about just like a over the hill like type guy who's in there just solely for motivational purposes.
Is this a movie or TV show?
A movie.
And it's called Locker Room Guy.
Yeah, and he gets a 10-day NBA contract just to like, because his like old college teammate, like is like, you know what, we need your attitude in our locker room. And he's like, I'll give you a 10-day contract. But then they start winning. So this guy who has absolutely no place in the NBA gets to practice with an NBA team and make, $400,000 a year just to like keep the locker room in order.
Well, that's Udonis Haslem. He's the locker room guy.
Yeah. He keeps these guys from fighting with their baby mamas, make sure they don't get a DUI at the club.
We saw it live with Butler and Spoelstra.
Yeah, exactly.
He is a locker room guy.
Yeah.
You should approach him with the script.
Yeah. Maybe he wants to produce it. It's based on the life and times of Udonis Haslem.
How much money do you think he's made?
Who would be played by a same age as Udonis Haslem, Joe Prano?
How much money do you think he's made in his career?
I mean,
I was off on this.
Total. Okay, so he's been in the league how long? He's been in the league 20 years.
2003, 2004 was his first season.
$96 million.
Man, you're pretty good. Actually, no, you're not good. Sorry.
Way more?
Way less.
Way less?
Way less. He's only made $68 million.
Wow.
Because he's been taking that league minimum for so long. The most he ever made was $7.1 million.
I was going to say $8 million.
Yeah, in the 2009-2010 season. And obviously, $68 million is a lot of money.
Yeah.
But when you look at what the NBA guys are earning in over 19 seasons,
yeah,
it's not that much money.
Patrick Mahomes, like, it's a season and a half.
Yeah, seriously. But
Udonis Haslem's, but you're going to give half of that away because you don't have a locker room guy like me to tell you to murder your fucking bitch wife before she steals it.
Wait, what?
Like, Patrick Mahomes wouldn't be married to that fucking girl if you had a Udonis Haslem in the locker room.
I saw a picture. I didn't realize how long they go back. I saw it was like freshman year of high school or 8th grade.
Oh, yeah, like the famous picture of him as like a child and her like over him.
With her braces?
Yeah.
Is that the one we're talking about?
Yeah.
It's been that long that they've been together?
Yeah, dude. He's essentially a hostage at this point. Free Patrick Mahomes.
He's got to have side pieces, right?
I mean, to be fair, look at the guy. He's kind of a dork.
Well, not. He is a dork.
Yeah.
That's not even a knock at him. He's a dork. I think with athletes, we don't want to call them dorks. Again, as I read more about Kobe Bryant's history in Three Ring Circus, you just see more and more of it. Like, you were a dork, man. You were a dork. It's fine.
And listen, that's part of that honestly is part of yeah. That is part of being like, that is part of achieving. You know what I mean? Is like you almost have to be a sports dork to be elite, because it's like if you fuck around and do other shit, like, you're just not working, you know?
Yeah. I totally agree. And that's not a dig. I call myself a sports dork. I'm a sports nerd. I like to read in-depth articles about sports analytics. I'm a sports dork. That's not even like, the word dork has changed.
But listen, I played high school sports, I was 3 sport varsity athlete, but like, part of the thing is like, oh, you go out and you play a Friday night basketball game, and then you go out and you have beers. But Kobe Bryant was like, I don't go have beers. I shoot in the gym until my hands bleed because I want to end all of humanity because I'm the Mamba. And you're like, all right, well, listen.
But also that's why he's got to where he's at.
That's my point.
Right.
That's my point.
There's only so many. There's just a couple that are going to be a Bill Belichick, Nick Saban. They win this much because that's all they care about.
Yeah.
Their kids, they don't care about.
Yeah.
Again, I watched that 30 for 30, or not 30 for 30. I watched that Football Life on Nick Saban, and his kids are straight up saying his daughter said it was a big deal that he came to my wedding, which is wild. Think about that.
Right.
That he came to your wedding? Your own father coming to a daughter's wedding was a big deal?
Right.
And that goes for any facet in life, right? I don't care whether you're a coach, whether you work in business, whatever it is. Some people want to do that. That's not us.
But in terms of like, in my opinion, like you talk about like greatness, it's like, okay, but like props to Michael Jordan, dude. The dude was out gambling every fucking night. Props to Keith Hernandez, who's rightfully finally getting his number retired from the New York Mets, who was on that. Oh, by the way, did we even talk about this? That I watched the K-Rod broadcast on Sunday night?
No, we didn't.
Okay, well, we got to talk about that. But yeah, so Keith Hernandez appeared on the K-Rod broadcast. I like A-Rod. K-Rod, the K-Rod broadcast for Sunday Night Baseball is essentially their Manning cast of baseball. Two problems with that. Michael K is an abomination. Like, I don't want to listen to Michael K talk about fucking anything. The idea that you're making some sort of Manning cast and you're pairing A-Rod, who already has like not exactly personality plus, like I'd rather hear A-Rod on an actual Sunday Night Baseball crew than some sort of loose baseball crew. Michael K is razor blades to the ears. So the idea that this is their answer to the Manning cast for baseball is offensive. But they have Keith Hernandez on. Keith Hernandez, by the way, the Manning cast for baseball should absolutely feature Keith Hernandez, and then ask Keith Hernandez who he wants to do it, because he's the best. But he was talking about like when he first got to the Mets in 83, he came in, I think, like late in the year, got a trade or whatever. Anyway, 84, he says he's on the team in 84. And the first thing that he did is the first series they started on the road. And after the game in the locker room, he's like, all right, what's everybody doing right now? And everybody's like, I don't know. And he's like, we're all going to the bar and we're all slamming beers and we'll all talk about our at-bats and we'll all like build camaraderie and we'll all do this thing. And it's like, Kobe Bryant's of the world and whoever the killer instinct guys and the dorky, the sports nerds, they're great. But Keith Hernandez is infinitely cooler than Kobe Bryant ever was at any given moment in his whole fucking life. He's just like, let's go out, slam beers, do a little coke, get up tomorrow, take some meth and play some baseball, And so there's those guys too. And it's like, those are the guys that I would qualify. That's why Keith Hernandez goes in the legend category. Kobe Bryant, great player, but.
Well, it is interesting. And again, I'm reading more and more. I mean, I'm just in their first season with the Lakers and Shaq and everybody. Kobe did not hang out at all. And again, I know he was 18 and he was young, and I'm sure that changed, hopefully. But firsthand account from all the players are saying that. They go, he did nothing at all with any teammates.
Yeah.
And there's zero camaraderie. And you know how it is in life. It doesn't matter what you do, what type of job. When you get to have a couple beers or you go on road trips, flights, you're driving in the car, having conversations, whatever it is, dinners, that's how you build up camaraderie. What I would recommend if you're a young athlete or any profession is to go grab a couple Miller Lights to build that camaraderie with your friends and colleagues, right?
Absolutely. You want legend status? It's like the hard work, the killer instinct. That's great and all. But like, no one's ever been on their deathbed and been like, I wish I'd hung out with my teammates over a couple Miller Lights less than I did.
Sure.
So yeah, get yourself. I got myself yesterday, Andy, at the Mets game, couple Miller Lights, weekday baseball, draft Miller Lights behind home plate. It was my happy place. There was a little person on a tricycle. There was a girl in lingerie. It was my full happy place.
Yeah. Good Happy Gilmore reference right there.
Thank you.
And if you're an athlete, remember, it's only 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12-ounce serving. So you have that as an added benefit as well. A lot has changed over the years. One of the things that has not is Miller time. That's what Miller Lite calls when it's friends getting together to enjoy the simple things in life. To get Miller Lite delivered right to your door, visit MillerLite.com/dirty sports, or you can find it pretty much anywhere that sells beer. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces. So you went to the game yesterday.
I did. And shout out, I forget the kid's name. I'm so sad about it. Shout out to the dirtball I met. Just spotted me in my seats, came up to me. Joe Prano, big dirtball. Can I get a picture? Love it. Went to the game. Tough game. Was a 0-0 pitchers duel. And then, Mets ace this year so far, Tyler McGill, who was 4-0 and actually threw 9 consecutive no-hit innings, including obviously the 5 in his combined no-hitter last week, and then 4 to start yesterday. Gets in a little trouble, and then the Mets bullpen that was a bit taxed from playing a doubleheader brings in Adam Ottavino, who just has an implosion, and the Braves have a 7-run inning, and Mets lose. But it was a glorious day at the ballpark nonetheless. Sat right behind home plate, smashed the Miller Lights. Watched some day baseball. It was Star Wars Day, of course.
Oh, nice.
It was Star Wars Day. I was there a little late for a Trevor Mandalorian bobblehead, so I missed out on that. But it was a great day at the ballpark. Listen, it's like like we say, when the surf's not great, it's like bad day of surfing, still better than a good day at work, Bad day at the ballpark, still better than a good day at work. It was tough to be there for a 9-2 loss, but better than a lot of different things I could be doing on a Wednesday afternoon.
Unless you are a member of the Cincinnati Reds.
Right.
Then every day
I believe they're playing a day game today, correct?
I don't even know. That's where I'm at.
Here's the one thing for the Cincinnati Reds. And trust me, I've been there, guys, so I get it.
No, you haven't been here.
No, I haven't been here, but I've been, it's a similar feeling. 3-21 or whatever it is. I know it's not. I know, listen, it's as bad as it can be, but the one thing that I would say this, I would almost boycott watching absolutely all Reds, everything, but the kid, what's his name? Hunter Green?
Correct. We have 2 young guys, him and Nick Lodolo.
Yeah, but Green's, he's got elite talent, and you could lean into just watch his starts.
I'm just not watching, Joe.
Okay,
I'm just not. Like I said, I got the one game. I'm heading to Chattanooga next week to see some of their prospects. Going to be up in the Appalachian Mountains. Check out their AA squad. I just can't support what's happening. It does continue to get, I was going to use the word better. It's getting better from a entertainment, and just, I can't get enough of them losing. It's kind of funny. 3-21 for anybody who cares. The Reds are the second team in the National League history. Baseball has a long history to start 3-21. The other was the 1894 Washington Senators. And it's not going to get any better anytime soon. And I can't stop laughing that they're 1-19 since those comments. And we talked about it last episode, just how wild it is.
I'm going to say this, Andy. I think that long-term, this is a good thing.
Oh, yeah, I agree. I totally agree.
I think this is going to lead to them selling the team.
I agree. And I can't stop laughing about what you said last week because it's so true. And I've even seen more memes now with Marge Schott. Like, we had an owner in Marge Schott who made wild comments like Hitler didn't start off bad, but took it too far. I mean, this is the type of owner we had. She made racist comments, homophobic comments. She was a crazy old woman. People want her back. She's been dead for years. But my point is, someone who said Hitler started off good, but went too far, something along those lines. That's the last good owner of the Cincinnati Reds. A woman who was basically sympathizing kind of with Hitler.
Yeah.
But took it too far.
Yeah.
I mean, it's wild to think that these guys right now running the squad are more disliked than
And
a
a Nazi
woman.
sympathizer.
It's nuts to say that. It's almost comedy in itself.
It's also very telling about Ohio, but a lot of Ohio's probably, she is right though.
Why you got to take a dig at my state? Something we did not talk about last episode was the Trevor Bauer suspension.
Yes.
So I'm gonna play a call and then we'll jump into it.
What's going on, Dirty Sports? It's your number one dirtball from Austin, Texas, KT. I just wanted to give a call since you guys didn't talk about the Trevor Bauer situation last week or on Monday, but also a cuck situation. So, speaking of cucks, is there any bigger cuck in the history of cucks than Rob Manfred? Like, let's go back earlier in the year. Freaking Ken Rosenthal, the legend reporter for MLB, got fired from MLB Network because he said something bad about Rob Manfred and the bullshit lockout that was going on. Boom, fired, like a dictator. And now Trevor Bauer, who wasn't found guilty for the sexual assault allegations, like granted, take that however you want. I listened to his video response on this. I recommend doing it as well. It seemed as if this girl that is accusing him of this, he was banging for like 5 years, ended up ghosting her. She hit him up like 10 times throughout the next couple of years, and then she like filed these allegations. Kind of crazy, but who am I to judge on this? But not found guilty. He was one that was talking bad on Rob Manfred in the MLB for years now, and now he gets a 2-year suspension from MLB when he's not found guilty by the law. Absolutely crazy. I don't know why people aren't freaking out about this. So I want to hear your thoughts on this, and don't give me that bullshit. Oh, MLB is a private institution. They can do whatever they want. Like, I don't want to hear that bullshit. Like, give me your thoughts, boys, and I know this call was long. And, condoms are for Rob Manfred. Fuck that guy.
Well, first things first, I think they purposely dropped this suspension because people wouldn't talk about it. It was a Friday. I think these things are strategically done. They drop it on a Friday. It's a slow news cycle, so it kind of fell into the wayside.
Absolutely.
That is all strategically done. The way they drop any news, whether it's sports, politics, whatever it is, they definitely did that because of this very reason. I find 2 years absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, it's 2 years from the start of when he was suspended. So essentially like another year from July or something like that.
No. He doesn't get, because he got paid. It's not, how like a judge will say, oh, you already served time.
Yeah.
And that'll count in your sentence. They're not doing it that way. So 2 years from when this was handed down last Friday.
2 years from last Friday.
Correct.
I mean, it is insane. It's insane. It is insane. Listen, the idea that Trevor Bauer should not be punished at all because it was not a crime, I disagree with. But 2 years when he's already missed, the better part of, almost a full season, it's nuts. It's nuts. There's a lot of, like, when you dig into the story, there's a lot of fucked up shit. Like whether, the thing that I always go back to about this story is like, you're allowed to be in a relationship with somebody and you're allowed to do fucking wild shit if you guys both agree on it. But like the one moment that always sticks out to me is that, he punched her unconscious and then did things to her without her permission while she was unconscious. Like hard to have a safe word if you are.
Isn't he denying that?
Right. Okay. I think in the text message exchange that they had, he almost copped to it a little bit, I'm sure he's denying a lot of things. It's just like, listen, no one here is without fault in, even if there was like miscommunications or mishandling is up, but like the idea again, and I hate to do the thing where like, you're only suspended this long for this and this long for this and this long for this, but like,
but you have to with Marcell Ozuna.
Right.
I mean, that's what I was going to bring up. Like this to me, it's your classic hypocrisy of anything we see in sports, politics, society, you name it. It's just, this is what I hate about these things is that you have something that happened with Azuna who aggravated assault by strangulation and battery,
right,
which was also witnessed by police officers.
right.
And how many games did he get? Let's see. Let's see how many games he got, which was literally witnessed. Okay, so he was suspended for 20 games. It's just 2 years, and the caller's right. Bauer has been going at Manfred for years. Let's not forget that. He's had a beef with Rob Manfred, directly calling him out on Twitter, directly calling him out on his YouTube. So of course, he's going to get thrown the book because he has a personal beef with Manfred.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 years is ridiculous, especially if you haven't been charged legally. I would think if there was enough evidence, they would have charged him, especially in LA County.
Yeah.
So that should matter, in my opinion. That really should matter. Whether they want to give him some sort of other suspension, whatever. But 2 years, he's appealing it. And obviously the union is extremely strong for baseball players, the strongest of all the sports unions. I'd be shocked if it's actually 2 years come appeal. But at the end of the day, Rob Manfred literally is the worst commissioner that I've ever seen in my lifetime. I can't speak for the NHL.
Right.
But all these things are just done incorrectly in my opinion. And we have a call later about that, as far as they just focus on the wrong things. I'm not saying this is a wrong thing to focus on in particular, but their decisions are always poorly executed. And this is just one of those things where you say 2 years, man.
Right. That number is insane, all things considered. Absolutely.
It really is. But baseball has so many problems. They really do. They have just so many problems right now. And actually, I'll just play that call. Here's a call which is, again, coming at Manfred. The disdain for Manfred is unlike any other commissioner that you see out there. The Goodell thing, I feel like, has turned in more of like a shtick. Don't you agree, Joe? Like,
yeah, we've talked about the Goodell thing before. Is like, I think Goodell does his job, which is to take heat for the owners.
Correct.
And they make shitty decisions, and they know that's his job. He's going to take the shit for it. And so I think he takes a brunt of that from the fans of the NFL that don't know any better. I think Rob Manfred is making a lot of these terrible, terrible decisions.
100% agree. So here's another call coming at Manfred.
So Joe and Andy, Stripper DirtBall Bryson here. Y'all may cover it on the show today, but if not, definitely love to talk about it. This new fucking rule the minor leagues trying to work out and see if it works, with the batters getting 6 seconds, I think, once the ball is back in the pitcher's hand to get back in the box, or it's an automatic strike. And I just saw a dude get called for a strike 3 without the pitcher ever throwing a goddamn pitch. I mean, Manfred is just ruining fucking baseball. What he doesn't realize is, I enjoy going to the ballpark. Fans that actually enjoy. I've gone to 5 Braves games. I don't care if they last 2 hours or 5 hours. I'm there to have fun, but what I'm not there to do is spend $100 on beers, between beers and hot dogs. I think me and my girlfriend spent like $120 between beers and foods inside the stadium, and it's fucking absurd. Most Americans right now can't afford that. So how about you make baseball more affordable instead of speeding the goddamn game up? The game is perfect the way it is. Get rid of all these extra fucking rules. Just play the fucking game and make it more affordable. I cannot believe we're having guys getting called for a strike 3 without even getting a fucking pitch. I mean, it's getting worse and worse by the day. The bottoms are for 80s and 90s basketball slippers. The free throw dunk isn't that cool, guys. It's not that hard. When you see how these guys, what they can do today. Stay dirty.
I didn't know about the 6 seconds or less trial for minor league hitters. Right. Where they have 6 seconds to get back in the batter's box or it's an automatic strike.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I was going to say, not.
Go ahead.
To his point, that's an owner issue. Obviously, he's the commissioner referring to the prices, but I agree. This seems to be lost in everything, and inflation is insane right now. All of us are dealing with it. It's in every facet of our life, and here we are going to games, or some of us. I'm not going to Reds games this year, but beer still costs so much money.
Yeah.
Slice of pizza still costs so much.
And I mean, again, we've talked about this before, but I'll just reiterate. Baseball is stupidly trying to cultivate new fans by saying by taking what people who say they don't like baseball and trying to attack those issues. Oh, it's too slow. It's too fine. Fuck off. Like if 70% of people said that their issue with tennis is there's not enough tackling, do you think the USTA would suddenly make it a full contact sport? No, they'd be like, go watch football. So take your fan base, realize that the human race reproduces. Take the people that love your sport, cater to them, let them pass the sport on to their children, let them pass the sport on to their friends, their girlfriends, their wives, their husbands, whatever. Cultivate your fan base. Don't worry about creating baseball is a dying sport. Okay. Don't stop trying to save it by being like, fans want more collisions. That's not the point. The point is that you make baseball hard to enjoy for the fan base you currently have by having shitty umpires, by having shitty rule changes, by having, a million different shitty rules and, you're just fucking the whole thing up. Take the baseball fan and try to repopulate baseball fandom from the people that love it no matter what. Make it easier for them to enjoy, not harder.
And again, if you want to make things more entertaining, just look at the minor leagues. It's such a simple solution. It's right in front of your face.
Yeah.
How much fun did we have when we went down to Amarillo, Texas?
So much fun.
With the sod poodles.
Yeah.
Go look at the Japanese pro baseball leagues. Look how they do it. Now, granted, they go next level WWE style. And I'm not saying every game has to be like that. But these are such simple solutions. And I think that's a great message to all sports owners. Again, with the current state of the economy. Stop being such assholes. We know it's public. This isn't 1985. We know what you're making on TV deals. It's in every publication. We know how much money you're getting in rights. You don't need all that extra money.
$100%.
Appreciate that. I needed that at the very end for you to just say 100%. So we didn't talk too much NFL draft last episode.
Right.
I know you said, oh, Ruther and his NFL. Hey, I've been trailing off a little more lately. Have I not?
Yeah. Yeah. It's great.
Yeah. I can be fluid. Obviously the NBA playoffs have been a lot of fun to watch. I did get a DM though about it. And I'll just read it saying, hey, any chance we can get more NFL draft on Thursday? I know you guys have a lot going on with the NBA playoffs, time constraints, et cetera, et cetera. I wanted to know more insight on what you guys thought about Malik Willis and Jacoby Dean dropping so low. whether Kenny Pickett can pick up the torch in Pittsburgh, the AJ Brown trade, the multitude of wide receivers taken in the first round, and who you guys thought fared the best and worst over 3 days. Thanks. That's from Brandon. DM that to me. The truth is, I don't follow, and we can talk about these things, but I don't go as hard in depth on drafts anytime ever, because it's just like, I'd like to watch it play out on the field.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, the quarterback thing was fascinating. The fact that the quarterback field was so weak. You had one quarterback taken in the first round, and you had Pickett going to the Steelers. I don't know enough about him, but from what I do know, I just don't think that's your solution.
You don't think that's your solution?
I don't know.
Honestly, I like Pickett to the Steelers.
You do?
I do. I like it. I liked Pickett in college from what I saw. I know there's questions about his hands. I know there's whatever, but like you look at the Steelers the last few years. I mean, first of all, you've had Big Ben, a shell of himself. And then you've had, the Mason Rudolphs, whatever, that are keeping them competitive. I think it was a nice, chance to take. I mean, you already have Trubisky who's going there. You take the chance, like, what if it pans out? Like, what if you get a hometown kid? You wasted a middle of the road first round pick on a hometown kid who could be your guy. I actually like it. I think the upside's insane. I think at the worst, let's say he's Mason Rudolph. Like you could go to the playoffs with him, but the upside is obviously way higher. And obviously, if it works out, I mean, this could be righting the Dan Marino wrong that they did so many years ago. I mean, I don't think he's going to be Dan Marino, but I actually really like the Kenny Pickett pick for them.
Now, the Malik Willis pick
falls all the way to the Titans
in the third round. I don't hate that. And then we have these comments this week from Ryan Tannehill.
In a quarterback room in the same room, we're competing against each other. We're watching the same tape. We're doing the same drills. I don't think it's my job to mentor him, but if he learns from me along the way, then that's a great thing.
All right, so everybody went with the Brett Favre comparison.
I've heard this from a lot of people over the years. Eli Manning essentially said this about Daniel Jones. Is there a nicer, fucking better, like more team first guy that's ever walked the planet Earth than Eli Manning? Like the dude's the best. The dude's the best. So Brett Favre and his relationship with Rodgers and whatever, it's like, okay, you can take that however you want. Eli Manning saying essentially, I'm not here to mentor, but I'll like help where I can. To me, like if he's saying that, then like it doesn't necessarily mean this comes with bad intentions. I'm totally fine with this. I think going out of your way to say that you're going to mentor a guy to take your job is going above and beyond, and is honestly like a little bit more cuck behavior than anything. Like Kobe Bryant would never say that, right? Like I think part of being a competitor is being like, in a quarterback room, we're all trying to help each other. We're all on the same team. Like I'm going to help him as much as I help any other guy who's my backup. But the idea that I'm grooming him like he's my, apprentice, why would I do that? So he can take my job?
Yeah. Well, regarding the AJ Brown trade, my take is this. You're going to the Eagles. I don't think it really matters because the quarterback situation is such a question mark.
Yeah. I mean, it's a nice piece for sure. And they're obviously trying to surround the quarterback question mark with tons of weapons so that there's not really, an excuse or whatever. And then they know whether or not they have their guy based on that. For the value that they had to give up for him, I hate the Eagles, but I like the move. If the Giants did that, I'd be for it.
Yeah. And all the receivers taken in the first round, it is interesting because I think a lot of these guys, and Brett Favre said it on Pat McAfee's show recently, a lot of these guys who turn out to be studs aren't taken in the first round.
Right.
Devontae Adams wasn't a first round pick.
Right.
And you have your guys, and I think that's what he cited. You have your guys who turn into studs who are in the first round. Don't get me wrong. But I do still find it interesting that so many teams do go with the first round or the top 10 or top 15 wide receiver pick, where the argument, and you and I both agree on this, if you got a good quarterback, he's going to make a second or third rounder pretty damn good.
Absolutely. And then you don't have to pay them that much. Obviously they're, based on where you go, obviously your rookie deal and your signing bonus, all that's kind of predetermined. So yeah, I mean, this is something we've been talking about even with, Devontae Adams leaving the Packers and all the other things that go with it. Like, unlike other sports, like it's a pretty strict salary situation. And if you have an elite quarterback with what elite wide receivers cost, is this your best option in terms of winning?
Yeah. And for every Jamar Chase that just comes out and lights the whole league on fire, you have every Raiders wide receiver taken in the top 10 in the 2000s for the most part. You know what I'm saying? It's you definitely have your success stories, but I did find it interesting that many guys went top 20 as wide receivers.
Yeah.
But like we said, it'll play out on the field. That's why I don't ever take too much stock into the draft. I don't really care as much about it, to be honest. I think the NBA draft is more exciting because a lot of times we know, or even that we don't know. Something I haven't brought up that's been sitting on the rundown is that Sunday ticket will likely go to Apple now, which I think is a great move.
Yeah, that's nice.
Right?
Yeah.
I think that'd be a great win for everybody. And again, we talk about money and we talk about owners and the leagues. The estimate is that Apple will get those rights for $2.5 billion.
Wow. I mean, I'm an Apple guy. I support all the Apple stuff. I like Apple TV. I still use Apple Music. So I think the function of it, I had a pretty good gig with DirecTV for all these years using my brother's password. So that'll be a mix, but I'm assuming Mikey will still get the NFL package. I'll figure out a way to still get this done.
Well, the practicality of it is so much better with Apple. DirecTV, I've had the Sunday ticket now for 5 or 6 years. It's a pain in the ass. It's just the whole functionality of it. It's a pain in the ass. And I would love if this went to Apple. And they also might do something where you don't have to get the whole package. You can go more a la carte and say, hey, I'm a New York Giants fan.
Yeah.
I just want to watch the Giants game.
Yeah.
Every week. What's that going to cost me? And that'd be a great bonus for anybody who lives out of market for their team. So I really do hope that Apple gets this deal, and RIP DirecTV and
RIP DirecTV just in general, right? Like,
yeah,
goodbye.
Yeah.
I saw one of my friends had DirecTV streaming the other day. It was like DirecTV without the satellite. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. It might keep them afloat for a minute.
Yeah. But they're a pain in the ass, even with Sunday ticket. The calls have been good this week, Joe. It's like Joey called out all the dirt balls and they rose to the occasion. And they said, you think we have bad calls? We're going to leave fucking good calls, dude. And we're still getting calls about Joey.
Are we going to play those?
Maybe. We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see. But I heard a call this morning. I never heard this. And I did a deep dive on this wild conspiracy.
Okay.
This is like the most dirty sports ever conspiracy that I never heard of, but it has our show written all over it.
Okay. This is great because I also have a conspiracy I'm going to throw at you after this.
Okay. So this is a new dirty sports conspiracy, which isn't even a dirty sports conspiracy. Apparently, it's out there already in the universe.
What's up, Dirty Sports? It's your boy, Captain Kook. Hey, so everybody knows Jimmy G got traded to the Niners because Tom Brady was all, man, I don't want anybody trying to take my spot, right? That's what they thought. However, rumor has it, the real reason for the trade was because Jimmy G knocked up Robert Kraft's younger girlfriend. Check it out. Owner publicly claims not to be the father of the child. All right. Traded the player as a bust, and the quarterback, Tom Brady, gets to continue being his GOAT and takes one for the team attitude. Look into it, discuss. Let me know what you think. Stay dirty, boys.
This is a great conspiracy. So
I love it.
I did look into this.
Okay.
Over a nice little breakfast burrito. Classic Andy Ruther. Breakfast burrito, dirty sports conspiracy. Love the call, Captain Kook. There's not much traction here. I couldn't find anything saying Jimmy G knocked her up. Now, if you recall, I remember us discussing this on the show. This is a few years ago. Robert Kraft's girlfriend had a secret baby.
Right. Secret baby.
So his girlfriend, Ricky Noel Lander, had a baby, but he refused to, it's very Jerry Jones-esque, say that he was the father. They've been dating.
Is there a name that your daughter could have that makes her more likely to be sleeping with a rich old man than Ricky?
Oh, 100%. They've been dating on and off for 5 years.
Right.
She has a baby. He buys her a house in LA. A source on the matter says Bob is fully supporting the baby or child. There is a lot of tiptoeing around the subject at the Patriots office. This is from an article in 2018. Everyone is afraid to openly talk about it. The source added that Kraft's 4 sons anticipated the Kraft family trust would be changed to provide for the child. So she's almost 40 years younger. And again, these are things that happened a few years ago. He refused to openly admit that was his child, but you also bought her a house, and they're on record saying they're going to take care of the kid. But this is the wild, crazy part. This is right around the time Jimmy G's traded. So this theory is that Jimmy G knocked her up.
Yeah, this is wild.
This is a wild one.
I like it. It makes sense.
It does make sense. I could not find anything about Jimmy G knocking her up, though. Every report goes to that Robert Kraft, because that's you
got to go Reddit. Reddit's where we get this theory.
It's like a conspiracy within a conspiracy.
Yeah. Reddit is where we'll find this conspiracy. Who's going to do the deep dive on it? It seems like Captain Kook.
Yeah. If you could do a deep dive on this, although I know I will.
Yeah. I know you will as well. Going to go deep in the bowels of Reddit. I like this theory, though, because it was strange after all that, right? Like all the grooming of Jimmy G, and then Tom Brady, like, you know, he sticks around, but he doesn't stick around that much longer. And it seemed like Bill Belichick wanted that to happen. Like it was weird, right? Like all of a sudden, Kraft, who was always like whatever Belichick says goes, changed his mind and seemingly was on the opposite side of the Jimmy G decision as Belichick. But then also Belichick kind of made it like suddenly that he was okay with it, which like, why? Because Belichick was then doing a favor for his buddy Robert Kraft. Was like, yeah, I get it. This guy can't be in our locker room anymore. Yeah, I got it. I got you. I'll trade him.
And then what I uncovered during this, so she was an actress, of course, had some small roles here and there. I don't know if you know this, but you have to watch this. There is an audition tape with his girlfriend.
Oh, I've seen it.
Oh my God. It's so cringe.
Yeah.
It's Robert Kraft and his girlfriend. I'm reading an article from 2012 where she's auditioning for, speaking of a hit movie, the hit movie, The Internship. Remember that? The
Yeah.
Vince Vaughn, Owen Wilson movie.
Yeah.
And he's reading the lines to her in front of a green screen. It's so
I've seen it.
You seen it?
Yeah.
I'm going to play it real quick. I don't know how to play if it's better visually, but it's still awkward, I think.
Okay. Yes. That is burned in my memory. You can stop now.
Oh my God, this is so bad.
Hi, you were really good up there. I didn't mean that in a sexual way, but not that it wasn't erotic.
I am so embarrassed.
This is wild.
Yahoo, what's that? I'm not familiar with that company.
Fuck you, pussy.
Robert Kraft says, fuck you, pussy, for the audition and fake punches a guy. It's wild that these things are out there.
It's wild.
And she looks like everything a rich, old white billionaire would go for.
Yeah.
Really skinny, model looking actress, about 40 years younger. I really hope Jimmy G knocked her up. I really do. That's wild. The other thing that we can't forget in this situation, Joe, Belichick really loved Jimmy G. In fact, when they sent him to the Niners, that was a favor where he said, I think he'll excel under Shanahan. If you remember, he didn't want to send him. Right. He didn't want to just send him to the Browns.
Yeah.
His thought was, hey, I like this guy.
Yeah.
I want him to do well.
And I believe in him. And I want to show you guys that I was right about him.
Correct.
I'm not going to send him somewhere to die, but
Correct.
Also he fucked our owner's girlfriend and they have a secret baby together.
I want to know where he heard this. Kook, you got to call back because, again, unless I missed something, I didn't see anything about that on there. All right, let's get to another NBA call.
Ruther Prano, it's your boy Dan, your one and only Indy 500 correspondent. I wanted to hear your guys' takes and maybe revisit some takes on NBA coaches. We talk a lot about coaching on the show. Number 1, Jason Kidd. Number 2, Brad Stevens. And maybe number 3, Quinn Snyder. That's the call, and condoms are for Purdue and the faceless Arizona DirtBall trolling calls.
Well, I mean, I guess we can do that pretty good. I mean, I think Jason Kidd, TBD, right? But certainly not an out of the gate great NBA coach. Like, doesn't hit the ground running. I mean, he's had multiple head coaching gigs, multiple assistant coaching gigs. I think definitely TBD. I think maybe he has good potential, but there's been a lot of guys like Jason Kidd. The let's go with the former point guard thing is like the NBA equivalent of like, let's hire a catcher to be our manager. We'll see. I am hopeful that Jason Kidd could be a good coach, but for me to predict that he will one day be a great NBA coach would be a tough guess for me, especially since it's just so hard to be a great NBA coach. Do you agree?
Yeah. No, I do.
Brad Stevens, I think, was a great NBA coach or I would say a very good NBA coach that was, maybe didn't get the best opportunity when it comes to talent. They were the 1 seed, I believe, one year. And obviously the Kyrie Irving situation, I think the Kyrie Irving situation was like the most difficult part of Brad Stevens' coaching career, but also like how great a coach can you be if you had the success that he had and then left and like doesn't want to be a part of it. So like managing personalities and managing egos is obviously a big part of the game. I think good X and O guy, maybe missing that Phil Jackson ability to manage NBA egos, as we've seen from college coaches making the transition in the NBA and in the NFL. And then Quinn Snyder, I think, heavily underrated and a pretty good coach, but I think also flies under the radar in Utah. What would Quinn Snyder be if he had one of the better gigs in the league, maybe some better, but like he has stars.
Can he get some rest? He just always looks haggard. Quinn Snyder,
I think it's the cocaine.
The cocaine. Yeah. He's just take a nap, bro.
I feel like Quinn Snyder fits into that like Keith Hernandez legend mode. Like maybe he's not going to go down as an all-time great NBA coach, but I think he's probably partying as hard as anybody's ever partied in Utah. You know?
Yeah.
He's probably the cocaine connect for the city of Salt Lake City.
He's drinking 42.3 beers to get drunk.
I actually like Quinn Snyder and think he is under. I would like to see Quinn Snyder get like a big job. But maybe he likes flying under the radar in Utah. Maybe that's part of the deal.
Mormon girls are freaky too.
Quinn Snyder just can't get any sleep because he's spending 8 hours docking or soaking or whatever.
Soaking. Yeah, but I think that's a myth. I think the Mormons, I think a lot of, I don't know, in my experience, I think a lot of Mormon girls are like attractive and just freaky.
Yeah.
They, you know, as with most religious people, they hide behind that. And then they just go crazy. Docking. What's the difference between docking and soaking?
Docking's, I think, when you go penis tip to penis tip and you like put this, the like, I think that was the thing. I think you were the one that told me about it. It's like pulling your foreskin over somebody else's penis tip or something like that. I always confuse the two. And I think soaking is just like laying inside a chick.
The soaking is just insertion, but you can't move.
Right.
You know what else about Salt Lake? Salt Lake has a very high underground gay population.
Not surprised.
Exactly. I learned that from spending some time there on my old radio gig when we do events there. Like those guys were going crazy at night. And I think lots of docking was happening.
Imagine having five wives. I'd probably be like, you know what? Maybe I should try guys too. Can't even keep one girlfriend.
Yeah, that's a lot. I agree. All right. So we got a couple calls about Joey. Do you want to play him?
Let's do one.
This one's pretty funny.
All right, let's do one.
No, we got to play both of these, actually.
Okay.
This is from the same guy. It's pretty funny.
What's going on, boys? This is Alex Walters, DirtBall, friend of the show. What the fuck am I saying? What the fuck? Don't play this shit, Andy. I just worked out. I'm pissed. The dude was talking shit. I didn't listen to like 2 episodes maybe, and I see that this fucking guy is talking shit on the DirtBall, man. And he's saying that we don't know anything and we are big bitch boys. Guess what, bitch? You can be the Joker all you want. I'm fucking Bane. I'm 6'5", and I'll put you in the fucking dirt, bitch. All he wants is attention, man. He's talking about plugging his show. What the fuck is wrong with this guy? Fucking pussy. I'm Bane, bitch. I don't give a fuck if you're the Joker. Anyways, Dirtballs know what's up. This dude's a pussy. We'd all beat the shit out of him. That's all that we need to know.
So then he leaves another one. He says, "Don't play us." Every time you guys say "Don't play us," I love playing it.
Yeah.
What's going on, boys? This is Alex Walters, DirtBall. I just made a call. I think I called the wrong number. I don't know. Said I had a weird area, so I'm just gonna re-say what I had to say to that guy who was talking shit to all the dirtballs. All you want is attention, man. Talking about your show, plugging your shit that nobody gives a fuck about. And you're talking shit on the dirtballs saying, we don't seem scary to you at all? Motherfucker, what do you look like? What the fuck is this shit? I can't believe this. I was a little bit stoned. I was working out. I had high adrenaline on my last call. I don't know if it went through the right number, but I will say it's a load of bullshit, man. You don't come in here talking to the dirtballs like that and get away with it. You pussy. Fuck you.
I'll give Alex credit. Alex leaves his full name.
Yeah.
He's like, yo, bro, this is my full name.
Here's my full name. He's like, you've merely adapted to the dark. I was born into it.
I like all the Batman references.
Yeah.
You're the Joker. I'm Bane. I did do a deep dive, and I've corresponded with Alex. He's a tall dude.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we're potentially setting up dirtball and dirtball grudge match, you know.
Let's go.
It's pretty interesting though that we're seeing the fight when you call these guys out.
Yeah.
To do an old reference going back to the very early days of dirty sports. Joey, you're learning the dirtballs turned down for
never.
Never. They turned down for never. Those are the calls today. 310-359-8365. We'll get to some more next week. Appreciate all the feedback, all the animosity. I do love how he didn't think he had the right number.
Yeah. Then call the same number again.
And as I look through, you know, he's called 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, including those two.
Put it in your phone, bro.
Bro, you've called 6, 7 times in the last year.
What is the number, Andy?
310-359-8365.
Give us a call. Let us know what you think. Your calls. We love them.
Yeah, just put 30 Sports Hotline.
I don't know about Joey the Joker, but Joey No Chill really appreciates your calls. Andy, you can follow me on all social media at Joe Prano, except for Twitter, where I'm at Fix Your Life. I fly back to LA tonight, and we'll be doing shows this weekend. I got a show at the Hollywood Improv on Sunday. I'm hosting it. I believe it's the 9:30 show. It's part of Netflix's A Joke Fest. I've got shows in I got a show in Redondo Beach at the Minimal Golf Club, former sponsor of the show, next weekend. West Side Comedy Theater next weekend. San Diego around the Mets series in June. All kinds of Southern California shows coming up. So go to joeprano.com or just follow my Instagram and come see a show.
Yeah, well, stay safe on that show. We've seen other comedians.
Oh, that was my conspiracy theory. We'll save my Dave Chappelle fight conspiracy theory for another episode.
Ooh,
because you had your Will Smith, Chris Rock one, and I have a Dave Chappelle conspiracy theory. Write that down for another show.
I'm writing this down right now. You know me, I love a good.
I would love to mix it in right now, but I've just been hit with some interesting news that I have to deal with immediately after we get off the air.
No problem. Let's wrap this up. Again, as always, thank you guys for all the support. Have a lovely weekend.